What's up guys, it's your favorite Dutch Bros drinking saltine cracker baddie back for another video, and today we're going to be talking about how to deal with situations. So when I say uncomfortable situations, I mean that, their interaction with somebody put a dent in the hour or the day. So like you left a situation, somebody might have snapped at you, you might have said something or did something wrong and then somebody reacted to it badly. Maybe the person didn't say anything at all, but they were maybe staring at you a certain way, or just like the way that they were kind of acting around you. You left that situation feeling inferior, but essentially you just left that situation feeling gross and uncomfortable. It's a time that makes you want to crash out, especially if you're not too good with people, or you overthink social situations like a lot, or just overthink life a lot. So when somebody does that to me, or like I leave a situation feeling like that, I kind of want to crash out too. But these are the tips that I use personally, or these realizations that I use in order to not crash out, or at the very least, not crash out as bad. Yeah, so the first thing that I'm gonna say is that everybody only sees a version of you. So what I mean by that is that like every single person in your life, right? Your mom, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your dad, your uncle, sister, a stranger on the street, a stranger in China, a stranger in Russia, or a stranger literally anywhere, or an acquaintance, they all see a specific version of you. They're always just a unique version, right? Like your mom is obviously going to see you a certain way rather than like what a stranger would, or what a boyfriend would, or what a girlfriend would. Everybody has different personalities, and there's this thing called, I think it's this thing called Sonder, where like you literally walk down the street and like everybody sees the world a certain way. People have, just their own lives. And those own lives determine how they see everybody, and it's specifically you. They also just have different situations with you as well. So if you're, if you're maybe somebody who's like a very good person, you try to, make people feel special, but then there was this one instance where a stranger saw you be unintentionally mean to somebody, right? That person's always just going to see you as that mean person, for the rest of their life if they just never talk to you again. But again, that doesn't reflect what the majority of people would see you as conventionally. Perfect example, hands down, I would say, is Hitler, somebody who the world conventionally sees as an evil man. However, there's his wife. Her name's Eva Braun, and she was deeply devoted to him. She didn't see him how the world did. She tried to, so YouTube doesn't trigger me, leave the Earth chat twice when she didn't feel loved by Hitler. She loved fashion photography. She left all of that to live this like private, isolated life. She wasn't recognized by the public so that she could be at Hitler's side. And then she also left the Earth chat with Hitler at the end of World War II. There was this woman who didn't see him like as this, but she saw him as somebody that she loved. And then the other thing is that there are also just some Germans, or just some people in general, where they actually saw Hitler as a good man. I know my sister's friend had a grandma who was actually in favor of Hitler. She said, yeah, Hitler did, very good for our people. He brought, Germany out of poverty. And that's how, I recognize him as. So a lot of people, they see him as, even though like me and the majority sees him as this evil man, there are still some people that see the other things that he did and view them as good things that he did for society. At the end of the day, people are always going to love you. People are always going to hate you for, all the things that you do, for just walking down the street, for doing this specific thing, for doing that specific thing, or just things that you cannot control, like your height, your race, your sex. Like, people are just always going to hate, people are always going to love, depending on just how they see the world in their minds. Essentially, after an uncomfortable situation, this can help you realize that you really only angered 1 out of 8 billion people. Even if you angered 100 people, that's still 100 out of 8 billion people. So second thing is going to be an action thing, and that is to never, under any circumstance, try to talk back or try to explain this situation right away. Especially if this is going to be somebody that you see on a recurring basis. And the reason why is that it's a perfectly understandable thing if you want to, try to explain really quickly. You want to like talk back or like shoot back, especially if the person was being rude. You want to get out of the situation. You want to just resolve it right then and there, not have to think about it, and it's like an impulse reaction as well for a lot of us. And the reason why I say not to do that is because it might aggravate the person more. Even if you think it's going to lighten the situation or it's going to help other people kind of understand, it's it's kind of like a hot area, like the range is kind of hotter. You maybe don't have the words to like perfectly express what you're trying to get out, the message you're trying to convey to that specific person, or to convey to the other person around you, especially if they're like trying to embarrass you. The best thing to do in that situation is to leave it as fast and as respectfully as possible. And a great example of this would be something that happened to me yesterday. As you probably know, I'm in the military, and I'm not allowed to have excessive eyeliner. Like, you're not allowed to have it like a wing to be right there. And so what I did was I always wear like a dialed down version of eyeliner that kind of just popped out my mascara, just in my opinion. I did that at the last place I was stationed in. Nobody ever said anything. And then I come to this place first day and nobody ever says anything. And then I had to like check in a second time, so I had to come up to this petty officer. And then in the very military format, I explained to her that I was checking in. And then there was a chief that was right next to her that was like eyeing me down for like 2 seconds before she looked at me and says, "Honey, your eyeliner, it's not a thing." I could have excessively apologized, been like, "Oh, like I thought it was dialed down. I'm so sorry, this was allowed at my last command." And then I also could have pointed out that everybody else around me, there were people like out of regs. There was somebody in a ponytail and their end-ups, which genuinely wasn't allowed. I could have just told that to her and been like, why are you like pointing me out when literally everybody else around you is out of the regs? So I could have done all of that. I could have been that person, because that comment, and the way she said it, it was just very triggering to me as somebody who wanted to be seen, like, especially like, in my line of work, as somebody who does genuinely try to follow the rules and tries to like be as respected as I can. The thing that I did instead was that I looked at her and said, "Oh, I apologize. Would you like me to take it off before meeting with this next person?" Because I had to meet with somebody afterward. Her face immediately softens and she's like, "No, just like leave it on, but this is your warning." That situation helped me out because, maybe I would have walked away and then she would have thought in her head, "Oh, I liked how that girl handled, how I told her, how to be." She took that constructive criticism, and that could help me in the future. So then if you are respectful, and it doesn't really cost anything to just be respectful to people in general, where, if you do respect that person, you do try to be very mature about that situation, that person, or, just the people around them, could see that, and then that could just help you and benefit you. Maybe your boss saw that, how you, maybe handled a situation with a coworker, how you like tried to like distance yourself and then explain it to that person or that boss. They can help you out when, you need something, or you want a promotion, or you want something from a specific person. And if somebody's being able to see you in that particular light, that makes all the difference in the world. Yeah, that just concludes my short and simple TikTok or TED Talk on how I deal with uncomfortable situations. And if you're really interested in these types of videos, this is a series specifically for people who, maybe want to learn how to be better socially if they're not good socially in general, or, they just want to learn more. Just, again, yeah, I just make videos about that, and, episode 1, episode 2. So if you're interested, you can watch episode 1 or the other videos that I have on the channel, because they're essentially about the same thing. So if you're interested, definitely subscribe. And with that, I hope you have a good morning, day, or night. Comment something in the comments, how your day went, how something is in the video. Maybe if you don't agree with my video, try to change my mind, because again, I'm not married to my opinions. So yeah, that just about covers it. So have a good morning, day, or night, and I will see you hopefully in the next video. Peace. I'm just kidding.